Hello everyone, this is Zara P. Forbes and I am very pleased to be able to read for you today The Lady of Shallott by Alfred Lord Tenneson. Now I'm going to be reading the 1842 version as I feel that it reads easier and I like the ending better. So let's commence. Before I start, let me just say that to set the scene a little bit, we're talking about a woman who is held prisoner in a castle on an island called Shallott. And this island is just a little ways down the river from a place called Camelot, or a little bit up the river, from a place called Camelot. And this is the Camelot of Arthurian legend. So I hope that's going to help to set the picture for you. So let's begin. The Lady of Shallott, 1842. It's probably going to take me about 5 or 10 minutes to read. I hope I can keep you with me through the whole poem. On either side the river lie long fields of barley and of rye, that clothe the wold and meet the sky, and through the fields the roads run by to many towered Camelot, and up and down the people go, gazing where the lilies blow. Round an island there below, the island of Shallott, willows whiten, aspens quiver, little breezes dusk and shiver through the wave that runs forever by the island in the river, flowing down to Camelot. 4 grey walls and 4 grey towers overlook a space of flowers, and the silent isle embowers the Lady of Shallott. By the margin, willow veiled, slide the heavy barges trailed by slow horses and unhailed. The shallop flitteth silken sailed, skimming down to Camelot. But who hath seen her wave her hand, or at the casement seen her stand? Or is she known in all the land, the Lady of Shallott? Only reapers, reaping early, in among the bearded barley, hear a song that echoes cheerly from the river winding clearly down to towered Camelot. And by the moon the reaper wary, piling sheaves in uplands airy, listening whispers, "'Tis the fairy Lady of Shallott." There she weaves by night and day a magic web with colours gay. She has heard a whisper say, a curse is on her if she stay to look down to Camelot. She knows not what the curse may be, and so she weaveth steadily, and little other care hath she, the Lady of Shallott. And moving, though a mirror clear, that hangs before her all the year, shadows of the world appear. There she sees the highway near, winding down to Camelot. There the river eddy whirls, and there the surly village churls, and the red cloaks of market girls pass onward from Shallott. Sometimes a troop of damsels glad, an abbot on an ambling pad, sometimes a curly shepherd lad, or long-haired page in crimson clad, goes by to towered Camelot. And sometimes through the mirror blue the knights come riding 2 and 2. She hath no loyal knight and true, the Lady of Shallott, but in her web she still delights to weave the mirror's magic sights. For often through the silent nights a funeral with plumes and lights and music went to Camelot, or when the moon was overhead came 2 young lovers lately wed. I am half sick of shadows, said the Lady of Shallott. A bowshot from her bower eaves he rode between the barley sheaves. The sun came dazzling through the leaves and flamed upon the brazen greaves of bold Sir Lancelot. A red-cross knight for ever kneeled to a lady in his shield that sparkled on the yellow field beside remote Shallott. The gemmy bridle glittered free, like to some branch of stars we see. Hung in the golden galaxy, the bridal bells rang merrily as he rode down to Camelot. And from his bladened baldric slung a mighty silver bugle hung, and as he rode his armour rung beside remote Shallott. All in the blue unclouded weather, thick jewelled shone the saddle leather, the helmet and the helmet feather burned like one burning flame together as he rode down to Camelot. As often through the purple night, below the starry clusters bright, some bearded meteor trailing light moves over still Shallott. His broad, clear brow in sunlight glowed, on burnished hooves his warhorse trode. From underneath his helmet flowed his coal-black curls as he rode down to Camelot. From the bank and from the river he flashed into the crystal mirror. Tira-lira by the river, sang Sir Lancelot. She left the web, she left the loom. She made 3 paces through the room. She saw the water lily bloom. She saw the helmet and the plume. She looked down to Camelot. Out flew the web and floated wide. The mirror cracked from side to side. The curse is come upon me, cried the Lady of Shallott. In the stormy east wind straining, the pale yellow woods were waning, the broad stream in his banks complaining, heavily the low sky raining over towered Camelot. Down she came and found a boat beneath the willow left afloat, and round about the prow she wrote, the Lady of Shallott. And down the river's dim expanse, like some bold seer in a trance, seeing all his own mischance, with a glassy countenance, did she look to Camelot. And at the closing of the day, she loosed the chain and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away, the Lady of Shallott, lying robed in snowy white, that loosely flew to left and right, the leaves upon her falling light. Through the noises of the night she floated down to Camelot. And as the boat head wound along the willowy hills and fields among, they heard her singing her last song, the Lady of Shallott. Heard a carol, mournful, holy, chanted loudly, chanted lowly, till her blood was frozen slowly, and her eyes were darkened wholly, turned to towered Camelot. For ere she reached upon the tide the first house by the waterside, singing in her song she died, the Lady of Shallott. Under tower and balcony, by garden wall and gallery, a gleaming shape she floated by, dead pale beneath the houses high, silent into Camelot. Out upon the wharves they came, knight and burgher, lord and dame, and round the prow they read her name, the Lady of Shallott. Who is this? And what is here? And in the lighted palace near died the sound of royal cheer, and they crossed themselves for fear, all the knights at Camelot. But Lancelot mused a little space. He said, "She has a lovely face. God in his mercy lend her grace, the Lady of Shallott." That is an incredibly powerful piece. That is speaking of how we so can be happy with certain lives of containment that we live in our lives, and we can be happy as long as we dare not look in and look wistfully in another direction. And we're even told things that we shan't hope for and things that we shan't want. But when something beautiful grabs our attention and it feels right and we're drawn to it, that we feel that we can't help ourselves but be tempted and allured into these amazing situations. So down she came from her tower, because the mirror had cracked, because she had looked up to Camelot. So down she came from her tower and into this boat and committed suicide in this boat as a cursed woman. And she did this because she saw Lancelot, and at the end, for everyone to see her and Lancelot to take a moment to say, "Wow, what a pretty girl that once was, the Lady of Shallott." So that's what I get out of it. I'm interested to hear what you get out of it. I hope you get something out of it. I want to feed your soul and just perhaps give you a different way of looking at things, and hopefully maybe one particular stanza or a few separate words, apart from my mistakes, jumped out at you. So have a wonderful day, and don't forget the Lady of Shallott. And I would say it's good to break out of those towers, no matter how beautiful they are. If they are just mirrors and they are just shadows and they are not what you really desire, maybe it's a good thing. So have a lovely day, and it's Zara P. Forbes with words that feed your soul.